Greetings and welcome to the Frank Silvera Writers Workshop New Play Reading Series. Special thanks to the Billie Holiday Theater for partnering with us to make this reading possible. There'll be a brief intermission, and immediately following this reading, there'll be a moderated critique session where you can offer direct feedback about what you've just watched to the playwright. And now, I'd like to turn it over to Garland Thompson Jr., Executive Artistic Director with the Frank Silvera Writers Workshop.
Thank you, Kimberly. Thank you very much. And thank you to everyone who is here today to witness today's reading. Thank you for taking time out of your very busy lives to join us on a Sunday afternoon for our reading today of Man on the Ground. We're very thrilled to have you. We know life is a bit crazy out there, what with all the crazy weather and the heat and all that. So we thank you for spending some time with us today. I also want to take a moment to thank our wonderful cast today for joining us. They've been putting in some great work and we really appreciate what they're doing. And also want to say a special thank you to Mr. Garret Morris, who has joined our cast. You know him as one of the original Not for Prime Time players on Saturday Night Live, as well as Uncle Junior on the Jamie Foxx Show, and countless other credits and projects that are the list is far too numerous to get into right now, but we especially thank Mr. Morris for being with us today. Thank you, Garret. And wanted to let you know also that this event today is a part of our 50th anniversary celebration of the workshop's founding. The workshop was founded by Garland Lee Thompson Sr., my father, along with Morgan Freeman, Billie Allen Henderson, and Clayton Riley in 1973. We received our official not-for-profit status in 1975. So between 2023 and 2025, we are celebrating our 50th anniversaries, and every event we do, every reading we do is a part of that celebration. So thank you for joining us, and please spread the word about that. If you'd like to keep up with us, you can catch us on Facebook and on Instagram, as well as on Twitter. Look up the Frank Silvera Writers Workshop. You can also go to our website at thefsww.org, and you'll be able to contact us through there. If you'd like to submit your work for a possible reading, please reach out to us. We are always looking for plays to read and playwrights to work with. And if you like what you hear today and see today, and you'd like to help us continue to do that, please feel free to make a donation. You can make that donation at, once again, thefsww.org. And any donation, no matter how small, helps. And it is simply, if nothing else, it is a wonderful sign of your appreciation of what we're doing and your desire for us to continue doing what we're doing. So that said, ladies and gentlemen, really appreciate you being here. Thank you once again. Please enjoy today's readings. And now I hand you back to the very capable hands of Kimberly Gunn. Take it away, Kimberly.
Okay, and now we're so pleased to present Man on the Ground, written by Tim Bellow and directed by Lisa McCree.
Cast of characters.
Alcyde, 30s or 40s, presents himself as a traveling salesman, but is really an enlightened messenger, being guided by a higher entity, but he lacks self-confidence at times.
Joseph, late 60s, the husband of Bernice. He is the father of Junior and Sapphira, overprotective, oppressive, hypocritical, and unenlightened. Joseph represents the old passing energy.
Sapphira, late 20s, the baby of the family, comes off as goofy and shallow, but is really intelligent and intuitive. Sapphira represents enlightenment.
Junior, early 30s, meek and obedient, but questions his father's beliefs. Junior represents the new coming energy.
Bernice, late 60s, Joseph's wife and mother of Junior and Sapphira. Very sickly, supportive of Joseph, which is to say, she validates the old energy.
The voice. The voice represents Alcyde unconscious, higher self, or the separate, benevolent, spirited entity. The character can be male or female, but the voice is always soft and compassionate. The voice can only be heard by Alcyde and the audience.
Young girl. Act 1, Scene 1. Lights up on the living room of a 1960s farmhouse in rural Mississippi. The furniture is worn but well kept. There is an open kitchen stage left. Upstage are 3 doors leading to the family's bedroom, and downstage left is the front door to the house, which leads to a huge porch and a front yard. A worn wooden sign is nailed to the post on the porch. Rooms for rent. It's morning. The room is dark. Bernice enters from her bedroom, coughing and short of breath. She wears a duster and is pulling a rolling oxygen tank. She is in extreme poor health. She has a tracheotomy, so she has to put her hand over a hole in her throat to talk.
Papa? Papa?
Joseph
Papa.
enters from his bedroom in pajamas and robe. He turns on a lamp.
Mama? Mama, what's wrong?
Can't catch my breath.
Junior! Hold on, Mama. Junior!
Junior enters from his bedroom in pajamas.
What's going on?
She's having another episode. Get your sister out.
Junior knocks and enters Safira's bedroom.
You want some water?
Yeah?
Junior and Safira enter from the bedroom. Safira wears pajamas and a robe and has thick lens glasses.
Get a glass of water, baby girl.
Safira goes into the kitchen.
Smokes.
Huh?
Smokes. Smokes.
Junior, get your mama a cigarettes.
Junior goes into parents' bedroom. Safira returns with a glass of water. Bernice takes a sip.
How you feeling? That better?
Smokes.
Junior returns with a pack of cigarettes. Bernice hurriedly grabs one and Joseph lights it up. Huge draw, then relief. Everyone exhales. Joseph gathers the family for a prayer. The family responds to his preaching.
Family, let us come together. The Father, the pain, the suffering is unbearable.
Alcyde enters and crosses in front of the house, straining while pulling a 4-wheeled cart with a covered wooden spin machine and all his belongings atop. He has on dust goggles, a cap, gloves, and a suit and tie with a pants leg tucked into his boots. He takes off his goggles and cap and dusts himself off. He is clearly exhausted.
These perilous times are a sign. The illness, the suffering, the pain. Oh, the pain. We can't stand it any longer. Mama can't take the suffering anymore. We believe the last days are up on us.
Alcyde climbs the steps, ducks down, and peeks into the window.
Family,
The family gathers around to form a prayer circle, but Junior stands off to the side, rebellious.
Junior,
Pop, I don't.
don't question our faith, son.
Junior reluctantly joins the family. Joseph starts his prayer that builds into an emotional sermon.
We believe that the last days that were prophesied will come. We believe we're living in them. We believe the last days are closer now than ever. We believe it's 5 minutes till midnight, and you better make sure that your oil is in your lap. You better make sure the wick is trimmed. You better make sure you're praying. You better make sure you're fasting. You better make sure you're seeking God. You better seek God for your family. You better seek God for your children. You better cry out to God, because I'm telling you, we are living in these last days. And Paul wrote to Timothy, and he said, in these last days, end of the world is upon us. He said, dangerous times will come. He said, perilous times will come. Every way you look, we're seeing signs of the times. Ill health, wars, fighting, disaster, and poverty. The last days of that the Bible foretold. We are in these last days, y'all. We will look for the new Christ to come. We will welcome the second coming of Christ. When Jesus comes and splits the eastern sky, I want to be living holy in the sight of God. Better live right. Better live holy. Jesus is about to return you. He's our Savior from these perilous times. And Jesus answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. Look upon this Father, this family, Father. Look upon this family, Jesus. We welcome your coming. Heal the pain, heal the suffering, heal the illness. We welcome our Lord Jesus, the Savior. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Amen. Hallelujah. Praise Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
A soft voice and compassionate.
This is it. You are in the right place. You can start now.
Alcyde returns to the cart and begins uncovering the spin machine.
Baby girl, go fetch some water from the well.
Okay, Papa. Sapphira grabs a basin and heads out the front door when she notices Alcyde. Oh, good morning.
Good morning.
You looking for a ring?
Yes, please.
I think we all full up, but I'll ask Papa.
If he can find room, it would be much appreciated. I don't think I can go another mile with this thing.
Papa, we have another wanderer.
I'm not a wanderer.
Joseph exits to the porch.
She didn't mean nothing by that. She's simple. Go on now.
Baby girl hurries off around back, briefly sizing up Alcyde as she leaves. There's an attraction. Joseph notices.
We say that because most of these people stop by here just wandering these roads. They are the lost or don't know what they're looking for.
I may be a bit lost in these parts, but I'm not a wanderer. I'm Alcyde Moses, a traveling salesman.
He hands Joseph a business card.
Joseph. Well, we all pull up, Mr. Alcyde.
Alcyde.
Okay, well, we'll all pull up, Mr. Moses.
Can you make room somewhere?
I said we all pull up. There's other farms up the road. They rent roads too.
I can't look at another acre of farmland. Acres and acres of farmland. Where does it end?
We are farmers. There's nothing else around here.
Please, sir, I can't pull this thing another mile.
Joseph looks at the spin machine for the first time.
What the hell is that thing?
This, sir, is a spin machine, my latest invention. I'm selling it this week at the Mississippi State Fair.
Spin machine? Well, what does it do?
Well, it's rather complicated. It's multi-dimensional.
You said what, man? You said what?
It's hard to explain to the average Joe. Pardon. Basically, it heals people.
Heals people. What kind of illness?
All kinds. Physical, emotional, mental. Like I said, it's multi-dimensional.
Oh, I have my poor wife inside suffering. Does this thing do anything to change her? I know they say there's no cure, but she's in bad shape. Can it do anything for her?
I don't know about cancer.
Can you make her feel better?
I don't think
Please.
we can try.
Pastor, I don't have any room right now, but you're welcome to make a pad in the bone.
Thank you, sir.
As soon as something comes over, I'll let you have it.
Much appreciated.
Oh, 2 meals come with the rent. Breakfast and dinner. Breakfast at 6 a.m., dinner's at 6 p.m.
I'll be here.
Junior, you hear it?
Yeah, Pop.
Your Mr. Moses, he'll be staying a few days. Help him settle in the barn until a room comes over.
Hey, Pop.
Junior leads Mr. Moses off towards the barn. Joseph steers, observant, as Alcyde follows Junior to the barn. Slow fade to black. Scene 2. Later that evening, after dinner, the family and Alcyde, except for Junior, all sit around the kitchen table. Having just finished dinner, the table is filled with dishes.
That was a fine meal, man. I thank you very much. After days on that dusty, lonely road, I needed that good meal.
You are very welcome, sir.
Alcyde rises and attempts to excuse himself.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I need rest. Big day tomorrow.
Joseph and the family all grab hands. Joseph calls Alcyde back to the circle.
Oh, Mr. Moses, praise and thanks.
Alcyde rejoins the circle and grasps hands.
Father, we thank you. We thank you for this fine meal and this productive homeland. We know in these end times, many folks ain't doing well. We are blessed in these hard times. For these are the days the Bible speaks about, the end times. And these days of darkness and sickness, guide our steps, show us the way to the light, so that we may be ready to receive the second coming of your Son, Jesus Christ. In Jesus' name, let the family say, amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Jesus. Amen.
Couldn't help but notice you got quite a good bit of farmland out there. How many acres?
25 acres.
25. That's a
And
pretty bit of land.
It's my family land. We earned it. And we'll do anything to keep it.
Sorry, just that ain't too many,
Black people got land.
well, yeah.
Well, we do.
What you grow, if you don't mind me asking?
Corn mostly. Some sweet potatoes and rice.
Joseph notices Silvera staring at Alcyde.
Baby girl, these dishes ain't gonna wash themselves.
Yes,
Silvera
Papa.
jumps out and begins clearing the dishes.
Yes, Papa.
Bernice rises and moves to the recliner in the living room to get more comfortable, where she lights up a smoke. Junior enters the front door, exhausted.
Yeah, supper again.
You have a plate warm in the oven.
You get it done.
Just about a few acres of corn I couldn't get to. Ran out of water.
Refuel and get back on it first thing before sunlight. We can't afford to lose any of that corn this season.
You should let the rain do your work.
Ain't been getting much rain.
You don't know that much about farming, do you, Mr. Pope?
No, I'm a salesman by trade.
One word, Mr. Moses. Conditions. Conditions determine the harvest. Not enough water, too much water. Fertile soil, depleted soil. Not enough sunlight, too much sunlight.
Even too many cloudy days can prevent the crop from getting enough sunlight.
If that plant don't get enough sunlight, it won't reach its full potential.
Corn won't be as sweet and lacking in nutrients.
Conditions, Mr. Moses. You can prepare the soil, make sure it's nutrient rich. You can pick the variety of plants, but you can't control the sunlight or rain. You can't control growth, Mr. Moses.
Plants are raised by Mother Nature, not
Patient,
human.
patient. The farmer must be patient, Mr. Moses.
Understood. Well, once again, evening, folks.
About that machine.
Yes, the spin machine. Tomorrow, this spin machine will make its debut at the Mississippi State Fair.
You can demonstrate it now.
I'm tired, Joseph.
Practice on us. Come on, sharpen your skill before tomorrow.
Maybe I'll have time tomorrow when I return from the fair.
I'd like to know what it does, how it works.
A short presentation, Mr. Moses, please.
Okay, a brief explanation.
Junior, help Mr. Moses bring it inside.
Junior and Alcyde head outside to get the machine. Joseph clears the space in the living room. The two men return carrying the spin machine. They place it in the middle of the living room. Joseph and Junior take a seat on the sofa. Sapphira pulls up a chair. Alcyde covers the machine with a dust cover.
My sales pitch. Gentlemen and ladies, step right up, step right up. Is your physical body old from age and a hard life living? Are you suffering with any disease? Are you emotionally depressed at times? Are your mental faculties fading? Memory loss? Are you suffering from ignorance? Do you find it difficult to tap into your higher faculties of intuition and the like? Do you have gout, arthritis, cancerous tumors, depression, forgetfulness, or any other problems ailing you that make life difficult? Well, step right up. Have I got a cure for you? Rejuvenate, re-energize, recalibrate.
He pulls off the dust cover.
Let me introduce to you the new, just invented automatic spin machine. Yes, you, sir. You have a question?
Yes, sir. How does it work?
This I will demonstrate for you. You simply take your electrical cord, plug it into the wall.
Junior plugs the cord into the electrical socket. Alcyde demonstrates as he goes through the instructions.
You stand center on the spin platform. Attach the safety belt. Hold on firmly to the handlebar with the controls within reach. When you are perfectly centered, turn the switch on and hold tight. And away we go. When you have completed several revolutions of spinning, simply turn the switch off and activate the handbrake to come to a complete and abrupt stop.
That's it.
No, there's more.
What kind of backwoods country Negroes you think we are?
There's much more.
This play toy can cure disease.
You didn't allow me to finish my explanation.
This is supposed to cure every Negro in Mississippi of all ignorance.
Remind me of the merry-go-round at school and the playground.
Junior jumps up on the machine and spins himself around.
Whee! Whee!
Everyone except Sapphira bursts into hard laughter. Sapphira is sympathetic. Alcyde shrinks with humiliation. Bernice goes into an uncomfortable episode. This scares everyone, especially Joseph.
Bernice, you okay?
Well,
Mama, you okay? Maybe just get some more.
Sapphira runs into the kitchen. Joseph pats Bernice's back. Alcyde watches, concerned. Sapphira returns with a glass of water. Joseph tries to help Bernice, but she can't drink.
Austin, get her smokes.
Junior runs into the bedroom and returns with a pack of cigarettes. Joseph attempts to light one up, but she can't smoke. Frustrated and scared, Joseph turns to Alcyde.
Can you do anything? Can you help?
Stand her up.
Joseph and Junior help Bernice to her feet. Alcyde goes behind her, positions his hands, and performs the howling maneuver. A piece of candy dislodges. Bernice catches her breath, and everyone calms down.
That's it. It was just a piece of peppermint candy. She was choking.
Draw hard. Mama, you okay now?
yes, I'm fine now. Thank you, sir.
No problem, ma'am. Glad I was here to assist.
Thank God. Thank God. Oh, God. These trying times. These end days are upon us now. God heal this suffering. God heal this pain. You don't know him, you better get to know him. The signs are here, all around us now. The end times are here.
Preach, Father. Bless us and thank you, Father.
Thank God.
Listen about your machine. Junior and me was just having some fun. Okay, I'm sorry.
Sure.
Listen, is there any way? Do you think you can help my wife with the machine?
What exactly is her illness?
Oh, ill with some cancer.
And I'm tired all the time.
Yes, the treatment left her tired a lot. Sometimes you don't even get out of the bed all day.
Ain't got the energy. I remember the days I used to dance and sing and cut up a rug. Them days are gone. I want my youthful energy back. I want to dance again.
Well, perhaps we can start by increasing her energy level. The spin machine can help with that.
Mom, you want to try?
Anything that will help me.
Well, let's try some light spin, just for starters. Help her up.
Joseph and Junior help Bernice to the spin machine and position her.
Hold on, Mom.
Now, this way this works is, the human body, our physical bodies are surrounded by an energy body. A human aura is what it's called. Much like a candle flame is surrounded by a very subtle, delicate energy field. Have you ever stared at the flame of a candle and adjusted your sight slightly enough to see the surrounding energy field?
I have.
Well, our bodies have this surrounding energy field also. In fact, every living organism does, including plants. The difference is us humans have energy centers or chakras that correspond to the human and endocrine system, the system that regulates our major hormone-producing glands in our bodies. Now, as we age or become sickly, these energy centers begin to slow down, causing an all-over imbalance in our glandular functions. Now, when we spin in motion and come to an abrupt stop, our energy body tends to want to continue spinning. But if we control it, this action tends to accelerate and balance the functioning of this energy field and the energy centers as well, strengthening them and restoring vitality and energy to our physical body. With Bernice, we won't tackle the cancer just yet, but we will start by restoring her energy level. That way she'll have the energy to fight another day. Okay? Let's give it a spin.
Hold on tight, Mama.
Bernice grasps the handlebar tight with both hands. Joseph and Junior surround the spin machine.
Okay. Are you ready?
I guess.
We'll give it a couple of revolutions. Nothing too fancy or too fast yet. When I say stop, you grab the handbrakes, okay?
Okay.
The machine starts spinning. Bernice clenches. Everyone is on edge. After several revolutions,
Okay. Stop.
Bernice pulls the handbrake and the machine comes to an abrupt stop.
How you feel, Mom?
I feel dizzy.
That's normal at first. The dizziness will pass. If you can, close your eyes and imagine your energy center spinning faster and faster when you stop.
You say what now?
I'll explain later. For now, just close your eyes so you don't get dizzy, okay?
Okay.
Let's give it another spin.
Bernice holds on tight and closes her eyes. The machine spins again. Several more revolutions.
And stop.
How you feel now, Mama?
Bernice steps down off the machine and does a little happy dance.
Woo! I feel something. I think I'm getting the hang of it. Can I go again? I feel energetic. I haven't had this much energy since I was in my 20s. Woo! Let's go again.
In time. You don't want to overdo it. A couple of times a week is all that's needed.
Whew. Joseph, I'm back. I feel I can fight off cancer or anything else thrown at me.
Praise God. That's great, Mama. That's great.
Joseph and Bernice dances. Fade to black. Act 2. Scene 1. The next day, State Fair. A banner hangs above, Mississippi State Fair. Alcyde stands at a podium giving his sales pitch to the crowd. The spin machine is on display near the podium.
Rejuvenate, re-energize, recalibrate.
What time does the orangutan ride the donkey?
All right, I don't know. I don't know. Sorry.
Because last year, this time they had the orangutan riding the donkey in this area.
I'm sorry. I don't know. Maybe you can find the bulletin, or maybe there's an usher who can help.
You think they gonna sell them crispy fried pork chops this year? I've been looking all over the fairgrounds for them crispy fried pork chops. I love them crispy fried pork chops. They gonna sell them this year?
My Aunt Nettie bought one of them machines down a few months ago down near Biloxi. You selling them then?
Yes, I sold a few a couple of months ago. How's it working for?
She come flying off that thing, spinning in midair, landing on her coffee table, broke her hip and her back as two pieces.
Hold on now. We have specific safety precautions that you must follow when you purchase the machine. It comes with a safety harness. There's no way anyone can fly off if they're using the safety and they do.
She ain't never recovered. They say she might be in a wheelchair for the rest of her life.
Oh my God, a wheelchair.
Hey, safety precautions, okay? I'm not here to talk about your Aunt Nettie. I'm talking about a way to rise above sickness and disease if this machine is used properly. How to raise your vibrations, a way to prepare your bodies for the changes that are coming. I don't know what time the monkey ride the donkey, or what time the clowns throw water balloons or blow their whistles or run around in circles, or where they're serving the crispy fried flipping pork chops.
Alcyde packs up his pamphlets and briefcase and steps off in frustration. Scene 2. Down and frustrated, Alcyde approaches the house, speaking aloud.
It's useless.
Be patient.
Crispy fried pork chop, orangutan riding a donkey. Is that what these people live for?
As they begin to awaken, they will need your guidance.
They are savages.
Please have patience. They are becoming enlightened. It's a process. Be patient.
Silvera is sweeping and tidying up the front porch when Alcyde approaches.
Good evening.
Good evening. How are you tonight?
Great. You don't look so good. How'd your day go at the fair? Sell any spin machines?
No, not so well my first day. Seems people are more interested in clowns, monkeys, and eating pork chops than they are in their own health and well-being.
You say what now?
It didn't go well at all.
Now. It's only the first day. Don't be so down on yourself.
Well, that's a positive outlook. I should have taken you along.
Maybe next time. I'll ask Papa if I can go.
How old are you now?
27.
Well, you're still Joseph's little girl, I guess. The baby?
Yes, and tired of being a baby. Where's home for you? Where did you leave your family?
Home for the last 3 years have been on these roads. I don't have a family. It's too much of a distraction. I travel alone.
Where do you keep your things, your belongings?
This is everything I own. Yesterday, when I gave the demonstration, you mentioned you did see the aura of a candle flame.
Yes, I do. Around people too, sometimes. Mama says I have spiritual eyes.
Really? That's a wonderful gift.
I guess. I don't see no purpose in it. It's just something to see.
Oh, no. It's way more than that. As you develop more, you'll begin to see the complexity in the layers of the spiritual bodies, as I like to call them.
Bodies. There's more than one?
Yes. Some believe there are 7 bodies, including our physical body. They all interact and are intertwined with one another and function as one, but it's easier to understand if you think of them as 7 bodies laid upon one another. But that's not the case at all. 7 bodies in 7 dimensions, multi-dimensional.
You say what now?
Multi-dimensional. That's what we are becoming, you know.
No.
Yes. Multi-dimensional human beings on a multi-dimensional planet in a multi-dimensional universe.
You say what now?
Let me explain it this way.
He demonstrates as he explains, forming a circle that eventually extends about 8 yards out.
I like to think of it in 2 parts. First, we have our personality, which consists of 3 bodies. Our physical body, our emotional body, made up of our emotions, which forms a tiny aura close to the surface of the physical body, and the mental body, made up of our thoughts, which forms an aura a little further out, right about here. Then there's part 2, what I like to call our 4 spiritual bodies. The aura formed by the spiritual body extends even further out from the physical body. First, there's the intuitional body, which extends about here. Then the spirit, it goes out to here. Next is the soul body, which extends to about here. And last but not least is the divine body, which is way out there.
When I do see, I don't see all that.
Well, in most people, only the 3 personality bodies are developed: the mental, emotional, and physical. Most people are just beginning to develop the 4 spiritual bodies. That's another reason why I invented the spin machine. I believe it can assist in the development of the spiritual body, or as some like to call it, the body of light. And this body of light we will awaken and begin to develop in the new age of Aquarius.
It's a lot to take in.
Let's try it this way. May I have this dance, madam?
Silvera shrieks and shivers, her first time touched by a man. She manages a goofy curtsy, and Alcyde grabs her hand as they spin and dance in a circle that extends further and further out.
Of course, you are well aware of your physical body.
Yes.
He twirls her while holding her hand. He lowers her hand and places his other hand around her waist. She trembles.
Out here is your emotional body.
They begin to dance in a tight circle that extends further out as he names each body.
The 3rd body, your mental body, is out here. Then there's your 4th body, the intuitional body, out here. Your 5th spiritual body is here. Your 6th body, the soul body, is way out there. Spinning faster now, she begins to loosen up again. And way out here is your 7th body, your divine body. That's it.
He releases her ankles. He releases her and kneels as she continues twirling.
That's it. Spin, spin, spin.
Silvera laughs as she twirls and stops and realizes she's different. She falls into Alcyde's lap. He wraps his arms around her as they laugh together. After a few seconds, she regroups and becomes nervous and immediately jumps up. Alcyde eases the tension by changing the subject.
Clear sky tonight. You can see all the stars.
Yeah, they pretty.
Look, you see that tiny bright light? The one brighter than the others?
No, my eyesight not that good.
Are you nearsighted or farsighted?
You say what now?
Alcyde goes to remove her glasses.
May I?
Silvera nods. Alcyde removes her glasses and sets them aside. He grabs Silvera's hand and introduces her to a new world.
That bright light there? That's the planet Venus.
That tiny thing?
Yes, but it has a huge influence on us. What?
I never looked up at the stars before. It's silly.
It's not. They are a part of us,
It's silly.
Look, you see that wide strip of stars? You see how it begins to circle around?
Yeah.
That's part of the Milky Way. They call it that because it looks milky. Really, that's our galaxy, the Milky Way.
What do you mean our galaxy?
We live here on planet Earth. The Earth revolves around the sun with Venus and all the other planets in our solar system. Our solar system is part of the Milky Way galaxy, which is part of the infinite universe.
I never thought about that. And that's what you think about at night when you pull that machine from town to town? Looking up at the sky? Without them realizing, Joseph quietly steps onto the porch.
This really blows your mind. Our galaxy has billions of stars. Do you know how much a billion is?
No.
And there are thousands of other galaxies like our Milky Way galaxy with billions of stars in them also. Can you imagine that? Billions and billions of stars, and everything in the universe is interconnected.
You say what now?
In other words, our bodies are related to everything that corresponds to our physical senses. If you can see, smell, touch, hear, or taste something, then that is related to your existence. We are connected to our planet as our planet is connected to our solar system. Our solar system is connected to our galaxy, and our galaxy is connected to the universe. Who really knows how many planets and stars? An infinite number of planets and stars. It's all one living, breathing organism of life. Do you think we are the only living, intelligent beings?
I don't really think about that.
There's intelligent life out there somewhere. In that great big universe, there's intelligent life.
Them dishes ain't gonna wash they self.
Okay, Papa.
She's developing nicely.
She's a baby, Mr. Moses.
A brief stare down, then Joseph rushes inside. Fade to black. Scene 3. The next morning, the state fair. Alcyde stands at the podium. Silvera, all pretty and without her glasses, sits on a chair nearby. Her demeanor has changed. Alcyde begins his normal presentation.
Ladies and gentlemen, step right up. Have I got a new invention for you? Don't be shy. Gather around. Folks, you need to hear this. Is your body tired from a life of hard living? Are your thoughts filled with sadness and depression?
Alcyde studies the crowd and has second thoughts. He put his brochures and salesmanship aside and levels with them.
Look, people, I have to be honest with you, even at the risk of sounding insane. There are some major changes taking place on planet Earth. These changes are affecting you and your children right now, and it only gets worse or better depending on how prepared you are. From this point on, our planet, planet Earth, is beginning to move into new energies. These new energies will increase the vibration in your bodies as you become multidimensional beings. Okay, wait a minute now, please. I invented this machine to assist you in developing your multidimensionality.
Multi what?
Hey, you people need to hear this, and I'm tired of being ridiculed. Look, the reason for these changes are because our planet is moving from the third dimension into the fifth dimension. This multidimensionality will come with the creation of your light bodies. A light body is a spiritual body that is entangled with your physical body and everything else in this universe.
Well, hey, will them light bodies glow in the dark?
This experience is not optional. If you are alive on this planet in the years to come, you will go through these changes. This is not optional. This is not optional.
Alcyde, frustrated, gathers his things, and rush off. Silvera tags along. Scene 4. Same day, the living room. Joseph sits at the table reading the Bible. Bernice enters the room from her bedroom in her Sunday's best. She puts on some music and dances slowly.
Joseph, look at me. What's different about me? Can you tell?
The good Lord made you bright and shiny this morning.
Something else. You know what it is? No oxygen tank. It's been 2 days now.
I didn't notice.
It's been 2 days and I don't feel I need it. My energy levels are up. I'm breathing real good.
That's the mission, Mama. Thank God.
Bernice dances slowly to the music. Happy for her, Joseph just lets her enjoy this moment. Junior enters from his room and heads for the front door.
Junior, let's talk a minute. Junior, you disrespecting the word and you're coming hard to ignore now, son.
Disrespecting?
Not wanting to participate in prayer circle, looking disinterested. You haven't been to church in a month.
Been busy in the fields, Pop.
Come on, son, you know it will I do that crap. Want to be there when you get time for it.
Been questioning that all.
We don't question the good Lord, son.
Not the good Lord. Questioning you.
Pardon?
I've been listening to you preach all my life. I ain't never heard where it's okay to kill a man.
Okay. Okay, I see where this is going. You don't understand the price of true freedom.
Lights fade on the porch. Up on Alcyde and Silvera returning from the state fair.
I heard you mention that word several times today. What does it mean?
Which word? Multidimensionality?
Yes, that's it. Can you explain multidimensionality?
Yes. Our very existence is dependent on what we sense with our 5 senses. What we see, hear, smell, taste, and touch. If we don't experience anything through these 5 senses, we assume it doesn't exist.
It's not real.
Exactly. Experiencing life through those 5 senses is what I call one-dimensional living. If you bring in what we feel on an emotional level, that adds another dimension. Emotions like love. Have you ever felt love?
From my mama and daddy.
Well, that adds another dimension. Does it make life better? Adding another dimension?
Yes.
And it goes on and on. Each dimension adding a fuller, more exciting human experience.
How did we get here to this point in our human experience?
It's a long story. I'll shorten it for you. This great big planet of ours goes through periods of time they call ages. It's one great big cycle consisting of 12 ages, each lasting roughly 200 years. During the roughly 2,000 or so years of the age of Aries, people were strictly barbaric, in strict survival mode. They were primitive. This is why they were given a set of laws from Moses and the other prophets who came to lead. They needed laws. This was before Christ, or what we call BC. Savages, just trying to fulfill their basic needs: hunger, sex, shelter, and safety, strict survival mode. BC and the age of Aries operated under a system of laws. Don't kill, don't steal, don't cooperate, do share, and so forth.
It was in 1935. I was a sharecropper on Mr. Thomas's farm. We scraped and scratched for everything we needed. At night, we go out hunting red wolf. I boil the meat and grind it up, mix it with pork and beef, make a sausage with it. So, like you wouldn't believe, Bernice would take the hide, stitch up fur-coats. That's what we called them. We hunted at night because everything we hunted at night. They were running free. This advantage free where you couldn't see nothing except for the light of the moon. It was dark. When the moon would get behind a cloud, you couldn't see your own hand in front of your face.
After Christ, or AC, came during the roughly 2300 or 2400 years of the next age, the Piscean age, people have spent entire lives working primarily on their physical bodies. At the most, they were beginning to become aware of their second emotional body and their third mental body, their thoughts. AC and the Piscean age was a dispensation of love. This is what Christ and some of the other prophets came to teach.
Me, George, and Jimmy usually hunted together, but they never showed up on the porch that night. So I went out alone. Parts of that land in a dense forest, the land was soft and mud deep. Walking through it, we wear knee-high boots. We have to take one step at a time. Your foot would sink a foot and a half deep. Put it up by your knees on again. Set the other foot down and sink again. But we had to go through it to get to the other side. That's where the red wolves made it, fed, and where they lived. Red wolves are plenty on the other side. We slog that mud, step after step.
But now, at the beginning of this new age, the Aquarian age, we are moving into dispensation of compassion. We need to cleanse and develop all bodies to achieve the necessary unity for utilizing the power of the Aquarian age. All bodies, 7 bodies must be developed now. 7. Beyond the first 3, physical, emotional, and mental, there are the 4th, intuitional, compassionate body, the 5th, will or spirit body, the 6th, the soul body, and the 7th, divine body. All of a sudden, those years of struggling, life gets easier. As we develop our multidimensionality, we can see every man for what he really is. After all those years, suddenly there's light.
I made it to the other side and immediately started shooting. Red wolves running left and right, and all of a sudden, I hear more shots. Somebody else was out there hunting too. I began moving towards the sound, and as I get closer, I can see another man, a white man, gathering up my hunt. As I got closer to make out his face, I see it's Mr. Boyd. He must have come alone. I didn't see nobody else. I approached him, feeling, this is my land, my hunt. Ran off with my wolves.
Those of us who don't begin to develop beyond our mental bodies will have difficulty handling the powerful Aquarian age cleansing energies. Those of us who are achieving good cleansing and unification of all 7 bodies will be able to use the new energies in constructive, joyful, creative, and spiritual ways. Those of us who don't will suffer in anger, hatred, violence, anxiety, and depression. We will constantly search for new ways of healing those symptoms with new drugs that are only doing more harm than good. We will develop cancers that will eat away at health and cause death.
He turned slowly, stared straight in my eyes and said, niggas don't own no man. Thomas got you fooled, you dumb nigga. Before I could catch myself, I snapped, caught his throat with my bare hands, squeezed his neck till I heard bones crack. His eyes opened wide. The moon eased from behind the cloud that I could see him. Not just him. I could see him right through him as the lights the life passed through his breath. I could see him, who he really was. He was me.
Suddenly, there is light. I can see you, right through you. I can feel your feelings. I know your thoughts. I see your true intentions behind all the lies, deceit, and honesty. I can see right through you.
As he stared at me, I stared back at him, into his eyes, deep in his eyes. I could see him. He was just like me. It was as if he was me. He wanted what I wanted. He was searching for what I was searching for. He is me. I was strangling myself. His body went limp, but mine stepped back to the moment that I dropped him. I killed a man with my bare hands. I began to panic. I looked around, I could see nothing, nobody. I didn't even know which way was home. Started running towards the moon. I stopped. I can't leave him there. I went back. The weight of his body had him already sinking in thick mud. I dropped to my knees and dug around him. The more I dug, the deeper he'd sink. Threw his rifle and everything he had in the mud with him. I set out for home. Nobody could ever find out. They'd hang and burn me for sure. I never mentioned a word of it to nobody.
There was light.
I killed a man with my bare hand.
Suddenly, there was light.
Joseph stares off into the night, lost in thought. Junior brings him back.
Pop,
Hmm?
it's late.
Junior and Joseph go inside. Later that evening, night has fallen, a faint sound of crickets. Alcyde and Silvera cozy up on the porch. Silvera steps onto the porch and peeks in the window. Joseph exits his bedroom and goes into the kitchen. Silvera ducks down below the window and motions for Alcyde to hide. He quickly does so. Silvera slowly rises and peeks again. The coast is clear. She begins to exit towards the barn, then stops and transitions to a sexy walk. She seductively invites Alcyde. Not sure at first, Alcyde peeks in the window. Joseph crosses from the kitchen to his bedroom. Alcyde peeks in again, and when it's clear, he follows Silvera to the barn. Later in the barn, Alcyde and Silvera make love while slowly spinning on the spin machine, changing positions each time the lights fade off. Scene 5. Later the same night, Alcyde walks Silvera to the front door, arm in arm. I've been studying the book of poems you gave me.
Good. Can you recite any poems?
Only if you can name the poet and his meaning.
You got it.
Whoever you are, holding me now in hands, without one thing, all will be useless. I give you fair warning, before you attempt me further, I am not what you suppose, but far different. Who is he that will become my follower? Who will sign himself a candidate for my affections? The way is suspicious, the result uncertain, perhaps destructive. You would have to give up all else. I alone would expect to be your God, sole and exclusive. Your novitiate would even then be long and exhausting. The whole past theory of your life and all conformity to the lives around you would have to be abandoned. Therefore, release me now before troubling yourself any further. Let go your hand from my shoulders. Put me down and depart on your way.
That's a good one. Walt Whitman's wherever you are holding me now in hand.
Right? And the interpretation?
Oh, that's easy. It deals with a lover who is physical and spiritual at the same time.
Yes. And a higher meaning.
What is it?
He's warning the reader that the path to higher consciousness is not easy and filled with danger.
How did you glean this high meaning? Your intellect, your intuition, the spinning. It's really working.
Yes.
You are developing so fast.
Joseph jolts out the front door. Both Alcyde and Silvera are startled. Silvera rips her arm from Alcyde. Joseph snatches her by the arm and throws her to the porch.
Get in that goddamn house.
Joseph sizes Alcyde up and rushes inside. Silvera nervously defends herself.
He was just walking me home to make sure I'm all right.
Don't lie to me, child. Why were you in the barn?
We didn't do nothing. I swear, Papa.
I told you for the last time to stay away from that man. He's a smart man. He's smart. I watched him. A simple child like you, he'll get you into all kinds of mess. Why was you in that barn?
I didn't.
Joseph slaps her, and she falls over the furniture. The commotion causes Bernice and Junior to enter from their rooms.
Joseph, what is going on?
The Miss Hot ass here entertaining that children in the barn.
Baby girl?
I ain't a baby no more.
You say what now?
I ain't a baby no more.
Joseph backhand slaps her, and she falls again.
Joseph!
Alcyde hesitantly begins to walk away, but suddenly stops and returns to the porch.
I'm not a baby anymore.
Joseph strikes her again.
Joseph, leave that child.
Pop,
I'm not a baby anymore.
Joseph strikes her again. Again, she falls to the floor. Joseph takes off his belt and begins whipping her across the back. Alcyde charges in and intervenes.
Joseph, that's enough.
Mind your business, mister. My house, my child, my rooms.
She's a grown man, Joseph.
You know what? I'm sick of you pumping all your foolishness in that child's head. You can take that damn machine and get the hell off my property.
She's not a simple child. She's an intelligent, bright woman.
Joseph attempts to grab Alcyde, but Alcyde pushes him away. Joseph regains composure and grabs Alcyde by the neck with both hands. Alcyde struggles to break loose, but the grip is too tight.
Joseph!
Pop, stop it.
Shut it. Shut the hell up.
The struggle continues between the two. Alcyde fights to break loose, but Joseph maintains a tight grip. Alcyde fights, but his knees weaken. He goes limp. Suddenly, a horn blares, followed by a loud shrieking and roaring noise coming from outside. The lights in the house begin blinking on and off. A bright light flashes from the outside. The roaring noise echoes in and out. The house shakes. Everyone's confused and startled. Joseph realizes Alcyde, and Alcyde falls to the floor, coughing and spitting. All except Alcyde run to the nearest window.
What the hell is that?
What in the hell?
What is it, Joseph?
I don't know. Get the shotgun.
Junior runs into his parents' bedroom and comes out with 2 shotguns. He hands one to Joseph. While the family members are all looking out the windows and back door, Alcyde gathers himself and staggers out to the porch. The lights move over the house and the front yard. Alcyde follows the light as it passes. Alcyde stumbles down to the porch steps to catch a better view. The light hovers over a few seconds. Alcyde focuses in, as if he's listening. Then suddenly, the light and its sound vanishes. Alcyde contemplates this for a few seconds, then looks back at the house. He slowly walks up the steps and re-enters the house. The family all approach him.
What was it?
Bright light and vibration. Never seen nothing like it.
Joseph approaches cautiously. Alcyde and Joseph in stage center in a cold stare-off. Slow fade to black. Intermission. Act 3. Scene 1. Later that week, Alcyde looks over the land from the porch. The farm is full with visitors, out in the front yard, and the fields to view the crop circles. Alcyde goes inside. Bernice and Silvera both have on aprons as they prepare food. Alcyde has taken charge, and Joseph doesn't like it. Still cautious of this stranger, Joseph acts as if he's got a ghost in his own house. He moves around quietly, observing what's going on.
We ran out of meat patties. I'm defrosting more ground beef to make hamburgers.
Browns are thickening. One leaves and 10 more shows up. We got to keep them fed.
I got hot dogs boiling. Maybe 6 or 7 packs left in the icebox, and that's it.
What's in the freezer? Pull everything out of the freezer and defrost it. Sell everything. Everything we have. Junior may have to go make another run in town.
It all seems so crazy. Crop circles on our own farm? I read stories about UFOs and aliens, but I never believe that stuff.
It's mysterious and kind of exciting. Have you ever seen something like this, Alcyde?
Like Bernice said, I've read about it and heard many stories, but never experienced it. Not quite like this.
I remember reading an article in Time magazine. They said crop circles had been showing up as far back as the 1600s over in England.
It goes back way further than that. I know of a West African tribe in Mali, a tribe called Dogon. According to their oral traditions, a race of people called Nomos visited this African tribe thousands of years ago. Those Nomos people supposedly came from the star system Sirius.
Another planet?
Yes, it's one of the stars we talked about the other night. According to the legend, the Nomos lived on a planet that orbits another star in the Sirius system. They landed on the Earth in an arc that made spinning descent to the ground with great noise and wind.
Like the other night?
Exactly.
It's mysterious. It's mysterious.
You think they want to hurt us?
I don't think so. According to everything I've read, they always come to share information, despite what all the controversy said. There's a lot of controversy about them. Evidence has shown that something other than humans are making these crop circles. We all experienced it ourselves. There was definitely something out there that night. The Hopi Indians have a prophecy that mentions these spacecraft. In the story of the Blue Star Kachina, there is a very powerful prophecy by the Hopi Indian tribe of North America called the Blue Star Kachina prophecy, which, according to the prophecy, is the final sign before the day of purification, or the end.
The end of what?
The end times? Joseph talk about that every day.
Ah, the end of what? That is the question for the ages. In this Hopi prophecy, it states that messages will be found written in the living stone through the sacred graves.
The crop circles.
Yes, and even in the waters. It goes on to say, all things will change in their manner of being. Every living thing will be offered the opportunity to change from the largest to the smallest thing. Ladies, that includes us humans.
Junior rushes in with a huge photograph.
Mr. Clint went up in his crop duster and took a photograph of the whole thing looking down.
Ah, a bird's eye view, an aerial photo. Let's see what it looks like.
Junior goes over to the table and unrolls the photograph. Everyone except Joseph gathers around to study it.
What's it supposed to be?
I don't know. Can't make it out.
Is it upside down?
I don't know. The photo's right side up.
Some sort of strange symbol.
I can't make it out.
Alcyde rushes out to the porch and tacks the photograph to the post on the porch. Silvera follows. She observes the crowd in the fields.
The crowd is thickening.
Come in, everyone. Come on in from the fields. Gather around the porch here. That's it. Gather around. This is a photograph of the crop circle taken by a neighbor from his airplane. Quite an impressive symbol, isn't it? We don't know what it means yet. We're trying to figure it out. I know you're all astonished and confused, just as I was when the crop circles were made, but I believe I have an explanation. Listen, folks, listen. These are exciting times. It's a wonderful time to be alive on planet Earth. The planet Earth and our human bodies are going through a change. No, not a change, a transformation. No, we're going through a metamorphosis. Yes, an exciting metamorphosis. And we are not alone in our journey of transformation. Let me tell you, we are not alone. We are we are being assisted in developing our bodies of light. The creation of the body of light is due to the planet's current transition process and is not an optional experience or process. Let me tell you, this is not optional at all. Human beings not wishing to be part of this process at this time will choose death by accident, natural disaster, or decay and disease. You will change or you will die. That's as simple, as plain as I can say it. This machine, this spin machine, I developed to assist in this change. It will strengthen and balance your human auric field so that you are capable of handling these changes taking place in the new energies planet Earth is moving into. The planet Earth and everything and everyone on it are recalibrated. This machine can assist in recalibration. Those crop circles are proof. We are not alone. We are being assisted in this change. Everyone needs to change. Everyone can be helped with this machine. You folks are the lucky ones. This is not the end. No, this is the beginning, a new beginning, the beginning of intuitive spiritual logic. This is where the ego meets the condor, the masculine becomes feminine. Welcome to the new earth. Welcome to new energies. Welcome to the new age. Yes, you, sir. You'll take one spin machine? Great. Yes. Over there, you, sir. You'll take one? Thank you. Yes, thank you, sir. One for you and one for your brother who lives in Meridian. Junior. Take your father's old pickup. Go into town and buy all the plywood and 2x4s you can find. We are going to build spin machines. Lots and lots of spin machines.
Got it.
Junior runs off towards the barn. Bernice stands in the front door looking on. Alcyde stands elated. Silvera comes to his side. Joseph quietly observes it all from the corner on the porch. Slow fade to black. Scene 2. Later the same day, Joseph and Junior stand on the porch. Junior has some revealing information.
Just now?
Yes. I'm in the lumber yard gathering up 2x4s and I couldn't help but hear them talking. One man said he gone from state to state, have been for the last 2-3 years.
Well, I have to convince people that spin machine is the fountain of youth, tricking the minds of the sick and the desperate.
Man say they run him out of Alabama just 6 months ago. Sheriff say he set foot on Alabama land, he gonna straight to prison. Defrauding people out of money. Call him a snake oil salesman.
Knew it. Soon as I set eyes on him, the machine of many of his kind come to it. If I had a mule for everyone I seen selling something, make the world a better place.
They start gathering around me. Before I knew it, I had the whole lumberyard looking at me. They knew what I was gathering that wood for. I left it all there. I ain't paying for all his trouble.
You did right.
He make it back here yet?
In the barn.
In the house, Bernice dances to a popular dance on the music of the time. Happy for her mother now, newfound health and vitality, Silvera excitedly joins her. Alcyde excitedly runs up the porch. Joseph and Junior stare him down.
Evening, gentlemen.
Come on, Mr. Moses.
No, enjoy yourselves. Have your fun.
Come on, Alcyde.
The bear pulls Alcyde over. Alcyde reluctantly joins in. Joseph enters. He watches for a minute, torn. Happy for Bernice, but suspicious of Alcyde. Suddenly and explosively, Bernice screams and grabs at her chest. Joseph jumps to her side.
Mama, you all right?
Bernice screams a deafening sound, stumbles and falls to the floor, and dies.
Mama?
Junior,
Junior enters while everyone
Mama.
attends to Bernice.
get the truck and back it up to the porch.
Maybe we shouldn't try to move.
I'll go get Doc.
No, there ain't enough time. We have to bring her.
The fair fans Bernice and places a cold towel on her forehead.
Don't just stand there, Junior. Go get Doc.
Alcyde checks Bernice's pulse.
It may be too late.
She gone?
Mama?
She gone?
Mama?
She gone. She gone. She gone.
Slow fade to black. Scene 3. Later that night on the porch, Alcyde questions his mission.
Jesus Christ is coming to save them.
Their belief. It's all they know. Be gentle. It's a survival technique.
It's stupid.
They are not stupid. They lack clarity and understanding of the truth.
Not them. This whole thing is stupid. Why would these people be pushed towards this shift and no one has prepared them?
You and others like you are helping to prepare them.
Shouldn't they know first? Don't you think that's smart?
They will adjust.
Isn't this like putting the wagon in front of the horse?
The human body is a fine system of biology. All systems of biology adapt and adjust to their changing environment.
Blackout. Act 4. Scene 1. Lights up on the family dressed in black, standing in front of a casket. A gospel rendition of I'll Fly Away.
Let us pray. Oh God, give us birth. You are ever more ready to hear than we are to pray. You know our need before we ask. Our ignorance in asking. Give to us now your grace, that as we shrink before the mystery of death, we may see the light of eternity. Speak to us with more your solemn message of life and death. Help us to live as those who are prepared to die. And when our days are accomplished, enable us to die as those who go forth to live, so that living or dying, our life may be in you, and that nothing in life or in death be able to separate from us from your great love. In Christ Jesus, our Lord. Amen.
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 The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. He can maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still water. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the path of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will feel no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever.
Slow fade to black. Scene 2. All enter the house just after returning from the funeral. Joseph exits to the kitchen and returns with a bottle of liquor and a sledgehammer. He pops the top and considers pouring a shot, then slides the glass away and gulps from the bottle. He moves to the window and stares.
That going tall. Finally. Patient, Mr. Moses. Sow the seed in the right environment, under the right condition, and give it time. Plenty of sunlight nowadays, that corn gonna be sweet.
He moves towards the spin machine, dragging the sledgehammer behind him. He sits on the spin machine and drinks some more.
Man, come in my house, and he's selling a dream. And we believed it. That I can make everything better with a spin machine. A spin machine. And I believed it. Stole my daughter right from underneath me. Turned my son against me with a spin machine. Step right up. Step right up. Have I got a deal for you? Reorganize, recalculate, reverberate. Oh, man, anything for a sale. Talking about multi-dimensionality, light, body, then spiritual evolution. And I believed it. You're good. I give you points for originality. Ain't never heard that foolishness before. You are good, Mr. Moses.
He stands and takes a big whack at the spin machine with the sledgehammer.
Now, wait a minute, Joseph. That is my property.
Yeah, your property on my property.
If you want me to leave, I can gather my things and leave, but you can't damage my property.
I can do anything I want in my house. You know what, Moses? My wife is in bad shape. But at least, man, she was living. She was living. She was living. She was living until you showed up.
He takes another whack.
The year was 5 BC. The place, China. The Western Han Dynasty. A new energy was buzzing on the planet. People could feel it, but they didn't understand it. It was the beginning of a new age, the end of an old age. The great philosopher hurried a group of followers he had been teaching and preparing for this big event for years. They were finally ready. They were all young adults and children. Clothed in their finest gowns, they rushed into the decorated temple to present themselves before the emperors of the city. The emperor stared down at the philosopher and asked, "What took you so long?" The philosopher raised his bowed head and looked around. He had rushed in so fast with intent on impressing the emperors, he didn't notice the celebration was over and everyone was cleaning up and preparing to leave. Frustration and anger overcame him. He stared the great emperors in the eyes and said, "We could have been here sooner. It was the ignorance of the elders that kept us out of paradise for so long. It's right there. Can't you all see it? Human beings who have evolved past their personalities and egos, who live as soul beings loving one another. They can see the spirit of all their fellow humans. They know we are brothers and sisters. We are all one. They can see it. Can't you see it? It's right there. All it takes is a slight shift and it's there. Push to the light. A world where there is no more racism because we are one. A world where there is no more hatred because we are one. One love, and compassion for one another. A world where each and every human being intuitively knows the intentions of his fellow human brother. That is the second coming. The second coming is here. Jesus Christ is not coming back. The second coming is a rise in consciousness. It's here. Push to the light. Can't you see it? Push. Where the light is so bright, the energy is so high, there is no petty disease and unhealthiness, a slight shift in vibrations. It's right there. Push. Push.
The blueprint of the world, it only exists in your mind.
Aren't you tired? Slogging through these coarse energies, barely accomplishing anything in a lifetime, just getting by, barely surviving. Aren't you tired of it?
Pie in the sky. Bullshit.
An ascended planet Earth with enlightened human beings.
You're dreaming.
The beginning of intuitive spiritual logic.
It's all in your dream.
An ascended planet with enlightened human beings.
Wake up.
Wake up!
You've been making this whole story up the more that you hit my front porch. Flying saucers, top circles, light bodies, spiritual evolution, super machines, and all that all.
Sapphira, you saw it, right?
So what? The sun and saucer?
Nobody really saw anything.
But that night, the lights, the house shaking.
A storm blew over lots of wind and lightning.
No. Wind was so strong that night, Mr. Clint said blew parts his roof off the top of his barn. Mama said before she died, she was just going along. She saw a way to make some extra money, all the people and all.
No. I'm the only one who can see them.
I believe you saw something.
You didn't? The crop circles, the symbol? How do you explain some of the things that you... I mean, come on.
I just wanted to wait and watch just to see how far you could go with it. They could see for themselves. There are many like running around out here, Mr. Moses. Anything for a sale.
No. It's because you can't see. You can't see what I see. This machine, the spinning, it opens up higher spiritual centers. It allows me to see into the spiritual realms.
Everyone turns away. Alcyde, desperate, he pushes harder. He hops on the spinning machine, manually gets it spinning.
You see? You have to spin. Spin.
He spins faster and faster, eventually losing his grip and falling from the machine. He hops back on and spins again falling. He does it again and falls again.
It's here. The new energies are here. All it takes is a slight shift, a small push, and it's right there. The world, the universe is waiting on us, all of us. Push, you ignorant nigger.
You say what now?
Joseph rises and approaches Alcyde with the sledgehammer in hand. He and Alcyde face off and growl at each other like barbaric animals. Joseph charges toward Alcyde with the hammer cocked. He lowers the handle, strikes, but Alcyde catches it mid-swing. They struggle. Junior flies across the room and tackles Joseph, then knocks him out cold with a series of punches to the head.
Junior, that's enough. Leave him be. He's drunk and in mourning. Leave him be.
Love and compassion, a high vibration. I saw you growl at him. You're a savage animal just like the rest of us.
Alcyde lowers his head in shame. Junior exits to his room. Sapphira bursts into tears and exits to her room. Alcyde slowly gathers himself. Exhausted, he manages to pull the spin machine down the steps and onto the cart. He collapses. Sapphira comes out with a suitcase in hand.
Let me leave with you,
I cannot.
please. I can't live here under him anymore.
Listen to me, Sephora. Your father and many people like you can go on and on about the end of times and the second coming of Christ, and they will. That is what they believe in. That is their whole world, wrapped around a faulty belief system. The truth is, the earth is preparing to move through a shift, a period that will last for 36 years. The magnetic grid of planet Earth will shift. During this 36-year period, the human beings will go through a recalibration on all levels, all dimensions. After we move through this 36-year period in the Milky Way, we will be in the Aquarian age. During this 36-year period, our solar system and the Earth will move into a different part of space, a space where the energies are different, a place where the Earth has never been before. New energies will be filtered through the sun and pass to us through our energy bodies, our auras, our light bodies, through the natural process of the heliosphere and the magnetic grid. And the grid will shift to allow multidimensional thought. This shift will force humans from linearity into multidimensionality. Our bodies, as we know them now, will begin to change. False beliefs, like what the Father preaches, will begin to fall away because they can't serve us anymore. This spin machine can assist in recalibration, strengthen and recalibrate your auric body, build your light body, and prepare for multidimensionality. This machine
You're
is...
not a salesman.
No, yes, well, no, and yes. I'm a messenger.
Let me come with you. I can help you sell the spin machine, teaching about the things you taught me, about the Milky Way and the procession of the equinoxes.
Precession.
What?
It's a precession, not procession. It's precession of the equinoxes because we are moving backwards.
Alcyde races up the porch and snatches the photo of the crop circle from the post.
Because we are moving backwards. We precess, not process. The symbol was upside down. What? This is it. This is the message they left for us. This represents our solar system moving through the Milky Way backwards, leaving the age of Pisces through a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 36. A 36-year period through the dark rift, and then we are fully in the Aquarian age. That would put the year 1994 as the beginning, 2012 is the midpoint, and 2030 arriving fully in the Aquarian age. This symbol is a message, a warning, a very important warning. Everyone must know about the changes the Aquarian age will bring and prepare themselves by recalibrating.
I understand. I can help you along the way selling, warning people.
No. Now that your mother is gone, your father needs you here. I don't work well with others. They always get in the way, distract me. These emotions between us, this is not part of the plan.
Is that what you see in me? A distraction?
Silvera slaps Alcyde.
You don't even know who you are.
You don't even know who you are.
She
I
grabs her
know
suitcase
who
and
I
charges
am.
towards the punch. But the trips on the steps. She puts her glasses on, and her demeanor changes back to her former self. She cries as she goes inside to her bedroom. Alcyde stands, stunned. He gathers himself and studies the symbol for a second, folds it, and puts it in his jacket pocket.
Do you know who you are?
I know who I am.
Who are you?
I know who I am.
Are you a traveling salesman?
Yes. No.
Are you a backwoods preacher?
No.
Are you a snake oil salesman?
No. 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 No.
Who are you?
I know who I am.
Wanderer?
No, I am not a wanderer.
Healer?
No. Yes.
Savior?
Yes. No.
Messenger?
No. Yes. No. Yes. No. Yes. No.
Who are you?
Slowly, a multicolored aura of energy, fifth dimensional, begins to form around Alcyde. This auric energy blossoms into a crown chakra that extends several feet above Alcide's head. Suddenly, Alcyde sprouts 6 foot high, luminous, 6-dimensional wings. The force lifts him off the ground and he falls backwards. Surprised and confused, Alcyde struggles to his feet while studying the 6-foot-high wings.
I am a warrior. I am a light warrior.
A horn blares as bright light above that illuminates the sky. Lights from a 6th-dimensional craft above move slowly as if summoning him. He follows across the yard and listens, as if there's a communication between them, he and the craft. Then, suddenly, the craft disappears. Alcyde's wings pull in and tuck. Alcyde appears confused at first, then comes understand. He looks back at the house and spin machine. He must go. Alcyde grabs his belongings and he begins loading up his spin machine and other things, preparing to leave. Alcyde puts on his goggles and cap and stands tall. He grabs the rope and begins pulling the cart. He struggles and strains as he pulls the cart up the road, off into the darkness. Then, 2 lead aircraft of light, 5th-dimensional, survey the area with spot searchlights crossing, followed by a low, constant rumble of an engine, and an enormous 6th-dimensional mothership passes above, an assortment of lights that scans the earth beneath. The craft moves slowly, not threatening, but observing. Blackout.
Thank you so much for joining us for Man on the Ground, written by Tim Bellow and directed by Lisa McCree. We are now going to move into our moderated critique session. We welcome people to stay. This is an opportunity for you to give direct feedback to the playwright. And please feel free to use the raise your hand feature that's at the bottom of the toolbar if you want to go on the mic. You can also put comments and questions into the chat or the Q&A. We do appreciate constructive feedback. And I'm now going to turn it over to Lisa McCree. I'm going to ask the entire cast and the playwright, Tim Bellow, to come onto the stage. Congratulations, everyone. Great job.
Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for attending this evening. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
awesome sauce. Thank you. So now we're going to go into a critique, and this critique process was developed by Liz Lerman. And so first thing I'm going to ask, and you can come off speaker if you like, or you can type it in the chat. My first question to the audience would be, what was your initial reaction? So what was your initial reaction? What moved you? What excited you? Just a brief description, and we're going to stick to what excited you about it. What did you feel? Just gut first thoughts. And that includes the cast as well.
So once again, if anyone wants to go into the mic, you can do that by looking at the toolbar. There's a reactions button, and that will allow you to go on the mic by raising your hand. So please feel free to go ahead and do that, or you can put comments and questions in the Q&A if you want to address this first question.
And
I see a
Yep,
comment
go
from
ahead.
Joy. The twist was pleasantly unexpected. Thank you.
Okay, and cast, you can also respond to that, your initial response or reaction, gut reaction of the script.
For me, I was genuinely confused when I first read the script. I was like, what did I just read? I have to read this again over and over and over again to really make some sense of it. And even still tonight, going through the play, I was like, oh, as we're going through it. So that's kind of how it happened for me.
Awesome.
I think after the first full read of the script, I don't know. It just kind of resonated with me a little differently because there's always that um, tussle between like the religious side of life and then like the spiritual side of life and then enlightenment. And I guess, trying to find out where you stand along the lines and how you fit into it all. And then watching I think Alcyde was doing his monologue while Joseph was doing his monologue, and you can see him describing the type of character that he is while he's describing that level of aura, if you will.
Okay, good. And I see Joyce said she's a little confused, and we're going to delve into that in the next stage. Byron says he enjoyed the history lesson woven into the script, the Afro-futuristic, and he said, thank you. Okay, so I'd like to move on and ask, what emotions did you feel during the play, at the end of or through the script, or at the end of the script? Were there any emotions that were involved?
Lisa, someone has their hand up too. Someone from the audience.
Yep. Pamela, did you want to make a comment, or did you have a question? You can turn your mic on if you need to.
Okay, and if Pamela wants to say something, she's more than welcome to turn her mic on. And so, yeah, I wanted to ask, any emotions? Did anyone feel any emotions? Yeah, at the end of the play, through the play, what emotions did it evoke? And I'm watching the chat as well. So this was, yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, for me, it was very jarring for my mom to die so like abruptly in that moment. And that brought up some emotions because we were just having that wonderful, like dance moment. And even thinking about it more now, me and the mom don't really have much of those connections. So to have that beautiful moment be like soiled with her dying like that was very like, oh my gosh, this is a lot to take in right now. So that kind of brought some emotions up for me.
Okay. And how did anyone have any comment of the pacing of the play? How did it flow? Did it all seem to work together? Did it move along fast enough to tell the story?
Byron says there was a disconnect. There was a disconnect of the characters from one act to the next. He wanted to know more regarding the complex between the characters.
Okay. And Pamela, the pacing was a little slow. Okay. Pamela, do you care to expound on that a little bit? You can come on the mic if you like, or type it if you want. Okay. Are you muted, Pamela?
Yeah, Pamela, you should be able to unmute your microphone. If you just go down to the toolbar, you'll see on the left-hand side a microphone, and you can unmute.
Let me see. I don't know if
Okay, we can keep moving forward, and we'll hopefully
and
get
when
Pamela
you're
on board.
able to get on, Pamela, you can just go ahead and cut me off. How did the main characters come across?
Tamia?
And anyone can answer that. Type it in or come off.
There was another pop-up for the Q&A. Kimberly says the language was very descriptive and the characters were all working together. It was very well written and great reading.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. And so now what I'm going to do is, so we got another one, great story, typical country family, evolving, experience, change, love, growth. Awesome. Thank you. And Michael would like to know the writer's motivation for this story. And we're gonna open that up if Timothy would like to say something, the playwright. And this is Mr. Timothy Bellow. You're on mute.
You're on mute, Tim, if you can unmute. Thank you. Congratulations.
So yes, there was a question about what inspired you to write this play.
Oh, okay. Well, it's a long story, but I'll shorten it. Okay.
Or your motivation. Yeah, or your motivation for the story.
Well, I've been meditating for a long time, going through my own spiritual journey for over 20, 30 years. And doing these yoga exercises. It comes from a book called The 5 Tibetans. And one of the exercises is a spinning exercise. And after doing this exercise for years, I began to notice in my own meditations, like this thing really is like multidimensional. It strengthens your spiritual body, strengthens your aura, and just increases your overall health. And so I was inspired to write the play based on that. And I was at a friend's house one day. Her son was going on an audition for a period piece, and he was dressed like a sharecropper. And then all of a sudden, the play hit me. All at once, I saw the whole play in a flash. I said, what if I had people dressed like this back in the 1960s, talking about not what you might expect them to be talking about, but about spiritual evolution and enlightenment and that type of thing. And the whole play hit me in a flash, and it took me about 6 months to write it after that.
Awesome. Okay, and so I have another comment here. Emotions that come up: joy, then grief for Bernice, anger for the violence against Sapphira, anger, sadness of the racism, then curious all around Joseph's description of the strangling, as it seemed he experienced multi-dimensional. Another one from Renee: awesome job. Everyone, readings can be difficult to keep audience attention, and virtual readings even more. Thought it was painful to apprehend. I appreciate how Mr. Alcyde Moses was revealed as a very imperfect messenger. While it hurt to see other characters, we've come to love and understand, betrayed and hurt by him. It expanded the notion of the prophetic role. It's a possibility available that any of us flawed humans, it's inviting in that way through a commonality. Awesome. We have another one. Can't get on. Okay, sorry, Pamela.
I think that's Garrett's hand.
Yeah,
Thank you for raising
Kimberly,
that hand.
and thank you. Okay, I really enjoyed reading, and my deepest apologies, but the old man has to split. Okay, that was from Garret. Okay, yeah. So Garret, come on, come off mute for a moment if you want to say something.
Yes. I'm sorry. I really enjoyed it. Was something else I have to do. That's why I have to go. But this was great. I really enjoyed everybody. Thank you so much, Lisa and Kimberly, for truly man this.
Yes, and we really
Thank you, Mr.
Thank
Bellow.
you.
Thank you, Mr. Bellow. Very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, can I say thank you very much, Garret, before you take off? Appreciate you taking the time to do it. Really enjoyed it. Thank you.
I have to take off as well. So I just want to say that this was a wonderful opportunity. This was a great play to work on. The monologues, they're multi-layered, and I want to say even beautiful. I think it's very interesting that throughout the story, people are hanging on with bated breath on what this spin machine is gonna do. But I just think that I see nowhere but but going up with this. My hope is that this continues. It has legs, and I think it has phenomenal potential. That's how I feel.
Oh, I really appreciate that. Thank you.
No, listen, thank you for the opportunity. Okay, I'm signing off.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Bellow, Miss
Okay.
Bellow. Hello, Mr. Bellow.
Yes.
Yes, Garret, yes.
Yeah, a long time ago, a friend of mine, Bill Duke, and I took lessons from a guy who said they call it Lenny monks. And they taught us this thing about the spinning thing. It's a morning, morning.
Right.
You understand that? So when I saw that, I remember that. Yes. But thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I really appreciate it. And apparently, Lisa at night goes to the 35th precinct because had she gone there, I probably would be in the reading. Ladies and gentlemen, take it easy. Don't do nothing I wouldn't do.
Thank you. Garret.
Yeah, have a good night.
All right, Garret.
It's been awesome to
Garret.
work with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, I
and-
just want to just make another announcement just about how to access the microphone. It is down at the bottom of the toolbar in the reactions button. You can raise your hand, and that will allow you to unmute your own microphone.
I just had a comment to make to you, Timothy, with regard to the story. Really appreciate the high concept that you brought, with it. Like you said, it's not a conversation that typically, you would hear Black people typically. Well, actually, in the 1960s, there might be some stuff that you'd hear, some Black people talk about, but not many, not many. Great, enjoyable story, as Jill said. The speeches were monologues were layered. They were great. I think it's great opportunities for actors to discover character and to peel back the layers and find out, who these people really are. Really interesting, all of them. Appreciate the fact that they're rooted in people we know, but talking about things that, as you said, that we typically don't talk about. I had two really just observations, and just wanted to know what your thoughts were behind it. Number one, I struggled with Bernice's impediment, because it comes out initially as her being a person who, has a problem. She's got a trach, but she smokes. And if you know people that have trachs that smoke, they smoke through their neck. So that, and it kind of faded along the way. That's one. I'm not a criticism, just an observation. And number two was the Garrett's character with discovery after he sees, Sapphira in the barn and the violence that happens was a little jarring for me as I read the play, because it happened repeatedly, so I don't, I don't know what your thoughts were when you wrote that in terms of it happening. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I understand that it does. In the history of, relationships between families, but those two things were things that pop out at me.
The trach. I was just trying to get across that she's extremely ill, and so that was in the original version. We actually cut that because it would be too much of a distraction. But Lisa can tell you, as a writer, we had so many versions of this script laying around. You guys got the version that wasn't cut, so we cut that. The idea was that she's just extremely ill. And so we cut anything that would have been a distraction, like the trach thing. Everybody has problems with that scene of the daughter getting beat. When we read it in New York, they had problems with it too. But I wanted that to stay in there because this is important. It represents the on another level. Sapphira represents the new energies that are coming in. And her father is the old energy that is preventing that. And as the antagonist, Joseph represents these beings who really rule this planet. Without going too much into this, they to keep these keep us in lower consciousness. They will beat us if they have to keep us in lower consciousness, to prevent this higher energy from coming in, because when this higher energy comes in and we become more enlightened, all of a sudden we can see them. They don't want to be seen. And so people are focusing on the beating, but it's deeper than that. It's what those characters represent while that is going on.
Can I say something? I think I
Sorry.
can.
Thank you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Thank you. I'm so happy that you brought. First of all, congratulations, Tim. This was amazing to be able to witness, and I'm so happy for you. My question, actually, comment was about Sapphira. I'm glad you guys brought her up, because that was my main question, was her returning back to putting her glasses back on and returning back to herself. That was what I wanted you to talk about more than anything. Does it have anything to do with the fact that you were leaving, and so the energy was taken away from her, and which made her go back to being who she was prior to the change? Also, I like the way you explained her being the difference between her dad representing the old way and she representing the new. So can you expound on why she changed back so easily, so quickly?
Yeah, it can. But let me just say, that's those two things I just spoke about. That question you just brought up were the same questions Lisa had problems with, or that she brought up. But first, let me tell everybody, this is Pamela Davis Nolan. She's a writer friend of mine, and when I wrote this play, I just finished it. We did one reading of it here in New Orleans, and I put it away in the filing cabinet. And then she's the one who told me, basically, look, submit that play into a contest, or I'm gonna come burn your house down. So the play would probably still be in the filing cabinet if she hadn't forced me to submit it.
I was serious.
But yeah, the question was, while she goes back to her farm. So it has a lot to do with this whole spiritual thing. It ebbs and flows, and we go through these cycles where we can reach these higher dimensions, and then we have times where we don't, and we fall back down into depression. And so and also structurally for the play, everyone had to be taken down. So all this stuff that he's talking about, that people are, all vanishes, right? And it just takes us all back down, and we all begin to say, well, maybe it's not true. And if you pay attention to it, we all go through that in our own life on a daily basis. At some points when the energies are high, we can reach higher dimensions, and and have inspiration and all this stuff. And the other times we just can't do that. So it's just that cycle thing I was trying to get at.
I also wanted to expound on the fact that when the mother passes away, I thought that was beautiful to see that she was able to reach a point where she did enjoy life before she left this realm. She was able to enjoy life. She was able to dance again. She was able to spend time with Sapphira and her family. And I personally thought that was something that showed them that, although she passed away, she still had a quality of life before she passed away, which proved, the point that he was trying to make. So I appreciated that. I thought it was, sad, but at the same time, I thought, well, how cool that she got that before she left this world. On a personal note, my father, I watched him suffer from cancer before he left this realm. But right before he left, there was a burst of energy that came upon him, and he was happy. He had decided no more chemo, and he was happy, and he was full of life, and he was dancing, and he was having a great time. So I bear witness to that. And then about, I guess, 2 weeks after that, he slowly started getting quiet again. But there was a moment there was a celebratory moment where he had his energy. So that I kind of bear witness to that point. I thought that was pretty cool.
I have a comment. Can y'all hear me?
Thank you.
Oh, y'all can hear me.
Yes.
Hey, I just noticed something that I didn't notice before, but Sapphira, it to me it sounds similar to Sophia. And if you go to like Gnosticism or something like that, Sophia is a character that represents like the feminine energy of God, of the feminine energy of the human soul. So I just see a connection in Sapphira and Sophia, and the Piscean age, which we're moving out of, had a lot of toxic masculinity traits, power, and I guess you would say patriotism, and we're moving into like this more the rise of the female, and that's something I just observed and just wanted to just drop here. Good stuff, guys.
Yeah, thanks. That's my son, everybody, TJ, and as you can tell, he's on the spiritual path too, so he can write the next play.
Good job, Dad.
Okay,
All right,
Pamela
thanks.
Davis has her hand raised. Pamela Davis. Her hand
Yeah, she already
I
spoke. I
think
don't
she
know if
already
that.
spoke.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, awesome. I wanted to, because we have like 35 messages, I want to just read some of the things we have in the chat. It says, thank you, Lisa and the entire cast. I love the depth of spirituality of the play and how it was intertwined with the family's life. Another comment from Gwen says, I was not excited to see the father hitting his daughter. Also did not hear findings of Junior about Alcyde coming to play. Awesome play, love it. Bravo and kudos to the cast of performers and director for making your inspiration come alive. Thank you, Michael. And Joy, as a big fan of Octavia Butler, I felt touches of that familiar sci-fi. I'd love to have a little more backstory on the characters, what made them who they were before the second act. The second act is what really drew me in. Thank you, Mr. Morris. That's from Pamela. To the writer, which character were you deeply connected to and why? That's from Ty. And do you want to go ahead and answer that before I keep reading?
Oh yeah, Alcyde, of course, because the path that he's on, I'm on a similar spiritual path, and so the stuff he's talking about, I experienced, so I'm deeply connected to him.
And TJ wants to know questions for the playwright. How important was it to find moments of comedic relief in the writing process when addressing such an important subject?
Oh yeah, you got to break it up with comedy. I didn't have much in there, but it's in there when yeah, because it could be heavy material, to just not put any comedy in there.
Right, and from Miss Stanley, I don't want to get the name wrong. Great story, love the idea of spirituality going up against Christian ideology while having similar undertones. Also, when Alcyde has his face off with Joseph, it shows that spirituality and enlightenment is not a linear path. You can be a messenger and a healer while also experiencing the full range of emotions and experience. You can never really separate yourself, and sometimes you can flow in and out of alignment. Thank you. There's a hand clap. Great
Yeah,
job.
yeah.
Thanks to all. Love the play. Difficult. You should all give yourselves a hand. For the playwright, do you see this produced for stage or more for screen?
Definitely stage.
Yeah, I think I asked you that as well.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Well said, Kiana. Congratulations, big brother, Lisa, Lawrence. I had to come out support my folks from back in the day. Great job. Thank you, Joy. This was magnificent. Tim, I was so happy for you and so proud. Great job, everyone. Hi, Byron. Feel free to raise your hand. Okay, get the mic. Okay. Here's one. Sapphire was Sapphira, was a codependent 27-year-old that was subconsciously programmed by a father with a lack of education, which leads to hitting, which was done during ignorant, lack of educated times. Her putting back the glasses represents her going back to what she knew, broken and codependent. You want to say something about that?
Yeah, that's true. There's another level to that's another level to it. There's so many levels in this play. But one thing I didn't mention that this play was given to me, right? So I can't take the credit for a lot of the depth that's in it. I just wrote it as it was given to me. So when it came from spirit that way, everyone began to notice there's a lot of layers and a lot of depth in it. But as a writer, I cannot take credit for that. I only wrote the way I saw it.
Okay. Joyce, great job, everyone. Good to see Garland. Great job tonight, Lisa, and everyone. So proud of you, Tim. Thank you for this contribution to enlightening. It was a great gift. Thank you and congratulations again to Tim, Lisa, and the cast. I need to go. Blessings. Okay. I can see it as a screenplay as well, and the timing of this piece is divine. So those are the comments that we have thus far. And I just wanted to say that when I got this play, I'm not going to go over how I sort of backed myself into it, Kimberly. But I was very excited when I read it, because it's as a writer myself, it's sometimes finding a play that's so different and speaks to something that we don't normally experience, or that no one is really talking about. So you're not really having these conversations with people. So it was very refreshing. And kudos, Tim. That's what I wanted to say. So yeah, great job.
Thank you.
And Lisa, if you could get to Jamal's comments or questions in the Q&A, that'd be great.
Do I see it?
In the Q&A?
I mentioned the QA questions.
Okay, can somebody go back? Because I may have to scroll back up. I don't know.
He says, I
So they
think
did
I
that
don't
chat.
believe the reactions of the father, even after he goes berserk after the funeral. I thought that Alcyde was very convincing in his beliefs of the machine he was peddling, but Joseph kept saying he believed the machine. In the man, it was obvious he wasn't. This type of play definitely calls for two forces in the battle for the play on equal levels. Joseph was normal in his confusion and also was protective of his daughter. I think he needs more feedback to the doubts he had on the power of the machine.
Okay, and then I know Byron he wants to go on the mic.
Okay.
Thank you.
And Jamal, if you can come on mic, because I scrolled up and I still don't see that comment. But yeah, I don't know why I don't see it.
It's in the Q&A, Lisa, not the chat.
Yeah, on the bottom.
You got to choose a different box.
The Q&A is a different box from the chat.
Oh, well, maybe that's why. Okay, so yeah, we'll have to do that check later, because I don't know where that is. Okay.
Can Byron unmute? Are you ready, Byron?
Pamela Bellow has had her hand up for a while.
Did Pamela speak already? Pamela, do you
The
still
other
need
Pamela, we had two Pamelas.
to?
Pamela Bellow has not spoken. She's had her hand up.
Okay.
Pamela Davis Nolan, she did speak.
Okay, so Pamela, if you want to go on the mic, just unmute your mic. I'm not sure what type of device you're using, but at the bottom of the toolbar is usually where that is, the microphone, and just unmute in the Zoom window.
I had a I guess a quick comment or a question while she's working on that. I think for me it was more so the relationship, or I feel like maybe Junior got lost a little bit amongst the rest of the cast. Not to say his role was insignificant, but I think the only time you really notice him is when he mentions that he's questioning his father, and then I think when he brings the fact about, hearing the people in the barn, but outside of that, it's kind of like, what's his place in the play? I know he doesn't really, agree, I guess, with the religious side, but then it's like, does he more agree with the spiritual or the spin machine concept, or is he just kind of like indifferent? Or
Yeah, I think that's it. He's kind of like caught in the middle. He no longer believes what his father preaches, and he's beginning to search for the truth. And I guess he's like I guess out of all the characters, the one who's underdeveloped, I guess. So I do need to spend a little more time with Junior. But his role is he was just caught in the middle, beginning to question his own belief system, right? And that's like the first step towards going on your own spiritual path.
Okay, so now I finally found this box. Thank you, Larry. Okay. Okay, so so now I see it. I think I don't believe the reactions of the father, even after he goes berserk at the funeral. I thought that Alcyde was very convincing in his beliefs in the machine he was peddling, but Joseph kept saying he believed in the machine and the man, and it was obvious he wasn't. Jamal, can you come on and explain that a little further? Joseph kept saying he believed in the machine and the man. What you're talking about Alcyde as the man, Jamal? And it's obvious he wasn't. Jamal, if you want to come on, that would be helpful to answer that. Let's see, and something.
I think he might be
also
gone.
Tim's question. Okay, so, and I think one of the things that I wanted to say is that and we had this discussion, Timothy, too, and just in terms of directing it, and I really needed to get into your head, because when sometimes we don't understand and there's this new enlightenment, I'm not too familiar with the Piscean age or Aquarian age other than hearing about it, but never have done in-depth research. So I learned a lot by watching this too. I wanted to ask, when Joseph and Alcyde had to split screen and he was talking about the 36 years and the AC, where were they? Like, were they, because they weren't really communicating with each other, listening to each other, they were sort of off in their own worlds. How was that presented on stage? Because they're not really talking to each other, are they sort of just speaking their mind at that point?
You're talking about when Joseph mentioned went on the trip, the wolves trip, the
Yeah, when he killed the
hunting for
man
wolves.
and Alcyde, because they were on two different pages.
Yeah. Yeah, the oh, what was I doing there? I was just trying to show the oh my goodness, how to say this? Joseph was just off into his own memory, explaining to how he got to the point of killing the man. And Alcyde was giving us all that background information of how we got to this point and where we're headed. And so I don't know what the word is to describe the way Joseph was putting it, but he was basically explaining the same thing that Alcyde was explaining about how we struggled, how we as humans have struggled for so many of consciousness. And Alcyde was just explaining of how it's here now where we can make leaps and bounds in our evolution, our spiritual evolution, because of the changed energies. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And then, so how did Junior know that he killed a man before he said it?
Yeah. that's another thing that was in the old version. Well, it came up before, and because we had an older version, we actually added a line in other versions. Or Junior said that like the townspeople are starting to talk again. But it just wasn't, that change wasn't in the version you had.
Oh, okay. Okay. Because, yeah, he stated it before Joseph actually went in and talked about it. So I was just trying to figure out how would he know that. And
Yeah,
Tim,
we
I'm
caught
still
that
looking
before.
for your
Yeah.
question. Tim, if you want to come online and do it, I'm trying to find it at the chat. I didn't
You know, it's actually a poll. We just launched a poll with the questions, Lisa.
Okay.
Does it pop up on your screen or?
Yes, I do.
Great.
Hey, Tim, I thought those, the question with Lisa had with regards to that exchange between Alcyde and Joseph was, it's kind of like they're both saying the same thing. I think Alcyde was saying it from his perspective of, heightened consciousness and the energies that he's talking about. And Joseph was saying it as, as a preacher would about, Jesus is coming, you better be prepared. That the end is coming and all that. It was that kind of parallel thinking or parallel message, though just one was, traditional Black Baptist, I would say, preacher talking it, or, it doesn't have to be Baptist, but, Black preacher talking versus the higher consciousness that you presented. My question is, technically, when you present that on stage, is that meant to be like overlapping dialogue between two characters, or is it just a kind of like ping pong going back and forth? How did you envision that being presented, theatrically?
No, it's not overlapping. It's ping pong. But I got the idea from a play I saw where the antag and the protag at one point began this during the monologue. They began to switch, and they became each other, or they swapped. The idea came from. So they basically were saying the same thing, but just on a different level. So Joseph interprets things through his own belief system, which is very different from Alcyde's, right? And so that's what I was trying to show there. But no, they're not overlapping. Yeah, it's a ping pong thing.
Right. Cool. Great.
And
Great.
then there's another question here. I don't think I read this one. Joseph's daughter was the only thing that was left pure. And to her father was everything, and he needed that in the midst of knowing that he could not control the disease that was taking away his wife. His desperation conflicted his spiritual beliefs, healing via faith. Junior gives me Oedipus vibes, important character. Juxtaposition.
Wait. Hey, roll that back. Oedipus?
Oedipus.
Right. No, you said it right. I was just saying.
Oh.
Wow, that's deep. That's deep.
I can elaborate on that. I mean, we can go we talking plot, and we going like as far as like structure and mythology is like, that is kind of Oedipus vibes, because like, Oedipus killed his father, and we expect as fathers our daughters to leave and get married one day, but our son is who we leave it all to. So it was like, but it's just a lot. Like I really don't have the words to kind of go deep into it, but it just gave me an Oedipus vibe as far as like from structure and drama and just like mythology kind of vibe.
Yeah, and not to, I just think when people bring up Oedipus, I just think that, okay, the son wants to do the mother. That's kind of that's where I go with it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no,
what Oedipus?
Not that part of it.
I didn't read that in the play. That's
not that part. just the challenging of your father.
That's some higher consciousness stuff.
No, not really.
No, I'm
Yeah.
kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
You mean the challenging his father. Challenging his father.
The
Yeah,
challenge in the
no,
father part.
I get it. I got you. I got you now. So
Okay,
good.
it says Junior is also Junior is the character. My screen jumped. Okay. That also forces Joseph to question what he has always preached and believed. This is often hard to do as we begin to think about spiritual dimensions. We don't normally reflect upon our beliefs unless they are questioned. Wonderful play, great night, valid point, TJ. And you're going to receive a poll, and I hope that you please fill that out for the benefit of the writer, because he has some questions in there that I'm just going to read through since you all have the poll. But if you would like to get on the mic and respond to them, that is also welcomed as well. So in your own personal circle of friends and family, is this subject matter becoming more normal to discuss? Question 2, did Alcyde ever come off too preachy, or his explanations of the cosmos versus the human body become bogged down and redundant or seem too detailed? Did the subject matter expand your awareness? Did you at any point begin to question your own belief system? And would you personally label this play fiction or nonfiction? That is in the response, and you are welcome to answer any question that you like. Go ahead, Garland.
First of all, great job to the cast, and wonderful job. Thank you, Tim, for putting together this piece, for writing this piece, and for bringing it to us again. A couple quick points on the question that Lawrence Winslow was asking about the ping pong scene. Basically, I think that's a very powerful device you've got going there. It's a very powerful device in general, but I think you still need to shape it a little bit. I think you need to maybe look at that and look at how much each person is saying, and where either those overlaps or where those switchback points happen, because I think I felt like in a couple of parts, Alcyde it felt like Alcyde could be pulled back or could be trimmed back a little bit. There could be to what I'm saying, structurally there's a way to make it so that
we did
driving. Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
We did when we did the New York read. They cut that thing to pieces, so we just didn't use that person.
So you're all right. So you're all right. God, I wish we'd had that other person then, but that's okay. That's okay. And probably then the second question in the poll: did Alcyde ever come off as too preachy, or his explanation cosmos versus the human body seemed too detailed, bogged down, or redundant? You probably already dealt with this also, but I felt as we were going through it, I felt like you were, as a writer, you were facing the same issue that pretty much every sci-fi writer, and specifically the Star Trek writers and LeVar Burton has commented on many times, which is the technobabble, basically, that has all the details, all those technicals. When they're talking about, like in Star Trek, they're talking about the plasma conduits and the warp core and the breaches and all this sort of stuff, and it's hard. That kind of detailed information, it's not that it's not important. It's very important, but it's hard to get it across to folks who aren't normally versed in that kind of language, what I mean, those kinds of terms.
Exactly.
Again, you probably already have faced this. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, especially with a thing like the level of awareness, and so you don't, as a writer, you don't want to leave anybody behind. So you're trying to put in as much explanations and details as possible, and that gets bogged down. But we did that. We did cut that too.
One of the things that I wanted to say is that sometimes for a writer, it's very difficult for the writer to tame the voice of the character and to tame the voice of the writer. So in some instances, it's more like the writer is speaking than the characters, because we're not learning anything more about the character. We're only learning about what it is that you're trying to tell us. And so what happens is that the character begins to get a little lost because we're not seeing any of them in that. So and when we were in Frank Silvera, I remember we would sit there and Garland Sr. would shake his head sometime and he would be like, okay, you're getting on that soapbox, And so, and it was,
Right.
and it's a very fine line between, the information. And we had this conversation because you explained a lot of things to me. And I kept saying, well, if it's not on the page, it didn't happen because it's in your head. And we don't get certain parts of that. So what I would have liked to see with Alcyde, because I really liked Alcyde, and Joseph in some ways was a very tragic and sympathetic character. But what happens is with Alcyde, he begins to become more clinical than anything else. And so we lose a little bit of, it's just in the end, we want to be invested in him. And the more we know about him as a person, regardless to whatever he's, the message, what he's preaching, we want to feel sympathetic to him in the end. So not losing the parts of him that make him a human being, a man. We did learn something like people distract him. We want to know why, what in his life has pushed him into this, and not just the message or the word or being a preacher, but there's also that struggle that comes with that. And that was one of the things that Garret and I discussed last night when I was saying, in this day, being that it's in the 60s, and Joseph is in his late 60s, it was more than likely that he came up, and Alcyde as well, even though he's maybe 20 years younger, came up with a very Christian upbringing, because that's just kind of how it was back in the day. So even when you're switching over, there's still an internal struggle that you go through, because this is something that's sort of been, you've been indoctrinated with since you're young, and then that switch over, we never saw where there was a battle with Alcyde. You know what I'm saying? Even with all that he knew, the things that make him human were the things that were sort of missing, but the information was there. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. I see that. Yeah. Somewhere in there, put more of his backstory, make him more human. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what we wanted to see, because we want to root for Alcyde, but then he can come off like a professor. You know what I mean? So, and he seems, even though he's enlightened, he seems sort of cold and disconnected.
Right.
I'm just saying the way that it reads, and it's not that that's who he is. It comes off that way because we don't get to delve into his struggles. Even I think in As Good as It Gets, Jack Nicholson, I believe, played that role. And even though he was the most unlikable character there probably, ever was, we felt for him because we knew why he was the way that he was. So what got Alcyde on this journey is important to us, and the struggle that he went through, so that we can sort of find that in ourselves as well. And then
that's a good point.
That's what I was referencing as part of the disconnect from Act 2 to Act. Okay. Lisa, thank you for clarifying the point about the voice of the character and the voice of the playwright. If it ain't on the page, it ain't on the stage. Yes, what is real, why? And I agree, the hero's journey element. So let me see, that's Act 2, thank you. Okay, the voice. The voice for me, I wanted more of it, because it's not consistent. So we don't get, and that's another way that we could get into Alcyde's head. The voice is really, he shows up for one part, a small part of it. So I really didn't know what you were trying to accomplish by putting his voice in there, it wasn't consistent enough for us to know that what he's thinking all along. That was just another point.
Right.
Okay.
That's a good point, and that's where we can add a lot more of his backstory. Yeah, and kill two birds with one stone. More of the voice and give more of his backstory. Yeah, that's a good point. Yes.
But you know what? Yeah. I like the sparseness of the voice, because he comes in at crucial times. He's not, a presence all the time for all the crises that Alcyde goes through, but I thought it was strategic the times that you use him. Let's put it that way. And so I appreciated that he wasn't there more. I'm not saying you shouldn't use the voice more, but I'm saying I think it should be strategic when he comes in and why he comes in. That's all. But
Right.
doing that,
Right. Okay.
listen, appreciate it. Thank you so much, Tim. Thank you, Lisa. Of course, I got to bounce. I have an audition to do. So, Lisa, when you get finished, I need some help. Thank you so much. Appreciate it all.
Well,
Thanks,
Well,
Garland.
thank you, Lawrence. I appreciate it. Great Alcyde. Thanks for
All right,
everything.
everybody.
Thank you, Lawrence. Great job.
Thank you.
Thanks everyone for hanging out with us here on a Sunday night.
Yahuda,
And-
one quick. Did you want to
yeah.
say something really quickly, Yahuda? Sorry about that, Kimberly. I just didn't
No
want
problem.
Yahuda.
No. Yeah. I was called a couple of nights ago to read for this piece to fill in for someone else. And when I got the piece a couple of nights ago, like I'm very familiar with the subject matters that are spoken about. So it was like, kind of easy for me to really jump in. And I really enjoyed the read. I appreciate you guys bringing me in this piece. Thank you, Timothy, also for writing it. Really enjoyed it. It was very relatable for me. Because of the different types of things that I'm into. Also, that was it.
Right. Very much. And that's the type of stuff I like to hear. I want to hear people can relate to it,
Thank you so much,
Uh,
Yahuda.
But at least, Kim, can I just thank
Of
a few
course.
people before you continue? First of all, I'd like to thank David Stamps. I don't know if he's here, but David introduced me to Kim and the Zoomcatchers. And thank you, Garland, and the Frank Silvera Writers Workshop, and the Billie, and Kim for taking this thing on. And I know it was kind of rough in the beginning, but then she called in Lisa, and Lisa did that finger pop thing. It seems like magic. In 2 or 3 days, she had this thing cast, and then she ran into some problems, but she handled it all. She didn't even get me involved, so I don't even know what all she went through. But thank you all very much, and to all the actors, you all did a great job. Thank you all for your time, and this is really helpful for me. And like I was telling Kim, I really wanted this because this is something I can send people to. If you're like me, all your friends don't read plays, but they might listen to one. So this is something that I can just send them to. And me, I'm gonna incorporate all that stuff into the play.
Thank you so much, Tim. Really appreciate it. Congratulations. Super excited to see the next steps for your play.
Yeah, and I just want
Thank
to
you.
thank all of my actors who came in, last minute, want to work on this project. Everyone was like a rock star. They got in and did what they had to do. So thank you for that. You guys worked hard. You put it in. You put the work in. And what I say after that, when you finish, you just drop the mic, because that's all y'all have to do now is drop the mic, because it was hot. It was smoking. So thank you for coming, putting on your professional A-game hats, and just, sharing your creativity with everyone. I appreciate that. Kim, I thank you for being on standby for my calls, and sometimes they were back to back. And Timothy, thank you so much for, being there to answer those questions to help me understand. And I hope that my directing this was in a voice that you have not heard it before. And, I'm honored to be able to work on this project with you. So thank you so much. And thank you for everyone who came and signed on tonight and attended and gave us support. We really appreciate you. I love you, because I see a lot of people that I know in the audience. So thank you for always having my back and coming in and really just giving support in your energy to the cast. So thank you. Give yourselves a round of applause and a hand, because without you, it would not be possible. So we don't forget the most important people in the room are the audience, because if nobody shows up, we're acting for ourselves. So thank you.
Awesome. Very good point,
Right. Thank you.
Lisa. And thank you so much for jumping in on this and really taking the reins and and really doing a wonderful, wonderful job. You pulled together a really great cast. Everybody did just a fabulous job. Thank you so much. Want to just give a quick shout out again to Yahuda for coming in. I know he came in just a couple of days ago, but you came in and you kicked booty and you took names, and it was good. It was good. And also want to shout out to Tamia Cain for doing such a wonderful job as our narrator. The narrator is sometimes considered a thankless position, but it is actually one of the most important positions in this type of forum, as a narrator, and helps to drive the story forward, helps to give us all information as an audience viewing it that we can't get because we're not in a live performance. So it's very, very important. To me, you did an absolutely wonderful job.
Yeah.
Thank you
And
so
I
much.
just have
And
to
to
say
Jacqueline,
something on that. I'm sorry, Garland, hold that thought. Tamia, thank you so much, because when I called her, she said, I've never done this before. And she wanted to be a character. And I was elated. I was full of joy because I was like, thank you. And she was so awesome that she kept the action. She matched the tone. It was, and she even gave it the little sex appeal and stuff. So I thank you so much. You went in, baby girl. So you will be getting calls, not to always do narrator, but I'm telling you, I know somebody who can deliver it like nobody else can. So you are on the speed dial. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Sorry, Garland. go ahead.
absolutely. Well, no worries. Absolutely. That was absolutely all of that. Agree with that 100,000%. So yes, thank you. And also to Jacqueline for doing such a wonderful job with Sapphira. You captured Sapphira's innocence and that bizarre contradiction being a grown 27-year-old woman still living this life as someone's child, and the transitions that are in. And so thank you very much. You handled it very well. Everybody did a wonderful job. And thank you to Timothy for writing this piece and for bringing it out there. It's one of the reasons I got excited about the piece is because of exactly the subject matter that you're dealing with. It is very relatable. I think there's lots of people have been exploring these issues, as you well know, I'm sure, Timothy, for decades now. Decades and decades, and often face resistance and misunderstanding, but there's still something there. So, and the fact that we as Black people, it seems like society thinks that we should just be telling stories about slavery and enslavement and depression and oppression and all this sort of stuff. But there is an entire world out there, as Octavia Butler showed us. There's an entire universe, galaxies out there for us to explore, and different ways of thinking and viewing all of it. So to thank you to you, Timothy, for telling us stories that really do help us, that we need to hear for expanding our visions and expanding our boundaries, and pushing forward. Thanks for not falling into those old boxes and staying in those old boxes. So thank you very much.
That was my intent. Yes, thank you.
Awesome.
Excellent. Keep going, and we will be here. And when you have that rewrite, when you want to do it again, or if you've got another piece, you've got a home. You're now part of the Frank Silvera family. So thank you.
That's good to know. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right.
And two more comments. Great job, everyone. Lisa, much love. I'm Bonnie. Love you too. I'm Bonnie. Awesome job, everyone. From AW.
And
Anita.
Lisa, you know what? We got to give a special shout out to Aunt Bonnie, because Aunt Bonnie prayed, right? Prayed for us.
Yes, she did.
So we want to thank Aunt Bonnie for praying for us, because her prayers helped us get through.
Yeah. So for those, just a quick story, because it's here where it's late, and I'm just going to take 2 minutes to tell this story so we can wrap up to that 10 o'clock. But it was so funny because I was working a gig, and I was working like 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. And Kimberly called me, and she was like, Lisa, would you like to direct? And I don't know. I don't even remember what the conversation was, but apparently I said yes. The next day I woke up, thought I was dreaming, checked my phone, and saw that I had spoke to Kimberly. So I called her and I was like, Kimberly, did we have a conversation? Did I agree to something? And she was like, you're going to do the reading. And I was like, when is it? So that was the way. But when I finally got my head on straight, I just went in full, and Jackie Jacqueline, I worked with Jacqueline, so that was awesome. Mia, I happened to meet Mia through my best girlfriend, Angie. Yahuda, I've been in workshops and stuff with. So Larry, I've worked with before. Jill, my first time meeting her, I met her through the CEO of Gateway College. So there's just everyone, and Garret was a gift, and he was on the tail end, and he came in on the 11th hour and he did it. So I'm just so happy to work with everyone that came. And Tyree Pope was in my Faces and My Fists, so I called him back. He was happy to come. So yeah, and thank you, Keith. It says thank you for sharing this great event, and Lisa, I'm proud of you, and I'll see you soon. And thank you so much for your support, Keith. Love you. All right,
Awesome.
guys. Love
Thank
you,
you
Mom.
so much, everyone. That is a wrap. But join us July 30th, same time, same bat channel. We'll be featuring Brooklyn Bridge and Fences, written by Sabor Rashid.
Ooh, okay.
Check your socials for that. And thank you for joining us, everyone. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Y'all.
Okay. Good night.
Bye. Good night.
Bye bye.